Welcome to the Ministry of Gamers, and it's Halloween! Whoa.
Why would you do that?
Sorry about that. Anyway, we've got an absolutely jam-packed show for you this evening for Halloween 2017. We've got some great reviews coming up.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the games that are coming out in November.
And we try to have a pumpkin carving competition.
Yes, to see who on the crew can carve the best pumpkins.
I am looking forward to that reveal.
Absolutely, but that's coming up later. But right now, let's check out Syndrome. Syndrome, one of those indie horror games that's finally got a port to the PlayStation 4. But was it worth the wait for Big Moon Studios to chuck in PSVR support? It has been delayed enough. Let's find out, shall we? Syndrome is a first-person horror game set on a ship called the Valkenburg, which is dead and adrift in space. You take control of Trent Galen, a guy that wakes up from stasis to find that he's alone and things have gone, well, pretty bad. It's down to you to figure out what's going on and escape this nightmare.
After waking up, you have to get your bearings and figure out what's going on around the ship. I must admit, it's pretty self-explanatory, and after some basic orientation, you'll complete the first section and unlock the PSVR game mode.
Yeah. I'm not sure why they did this, making you complete the first 2 minutes of the standard game before unlocking the VR game, but more on that later.
Your movement is as you would expect it to be. Walking, running, crouch waddling, and that's about it. But there's one thing that kind of annoyed me. The controls have not been optimised for a controller. Pushing gently on the stick does nothing, so there's no sense of small increments of control. You'll just jerk forward like you've mashed a button on a keyboard. Okay, so that's not a deal breaker, but if you're going to make the effort to port it to the PlayStation 4 and include a PSVR mode, then tweaking the controls is probably a good idea. Also, it's quite easy to get stuck on random objects around the ship, like tables and chairs. You think you've walked past them, but no, you're stuck.
Your missions come through to you via an intercom from some other people who are trapped aboard the ship, and one of your first main missions at the beginning is to get the engines back online.
Naturally, this splits off into multiple tasks, as the route to starting the engines is blocked by various obstacles. As well as finding key codes and tools to get through vents, there's a hacking tool. The hacking tool is pretty simple, but it doesn't give you any instruction on what you're supposed to do, so unless your brain immediately figures this out, you can get a bit stuck.
A little note next to the device when you picked it up could have helped save that frustration. You know, like a diagram, anything, a hint.
Like with most games, there is a map, however this one is clearly marked and numbered with a key that shows you what room you're looking for. And I must say, after playing the horrid mess that was Prey, it is refreshing to see a developer that understands the importance of a good map. So, thumbs up for that one, Syndrome.
You pick up a tool pretty early on to open vents, and this also serves as your first weapon, and is your first indication that, yes, you will have to defend yourself. The enemies are a mixed bag of weaker zombie types, to tooled up I'm gonna beat the snot out of you blokes, to some insane stompy bladed massacre on legs that will say no to bullets and chase you until you can hide. You know, it feels pretty clunky to be fair. I was kind of expecting a little bit more from the combat, like, you know, the block is kind of ineffective, it doesn't really do anything, well, at least it didn't help me in any way. I was kind of hoping for maybe the block to stun the enemy for a second so you could swing and get a big hit in for some extra damage, but no, and this kind of leaves the combat feeling a little rushed and more effort could have been made. But most of the time you will get hurt, and the enemies aren't the only thing that can hurt you. There are environmental hazards like fire and electricity that can inflict damage. When you get injured, and you will, there are various items strewn about that can heal you, from the standard healing items to food like burgers and hot dogs that are laying around on desks. Yep, someone just cooked this and left it there, and then went off and did some murdering.
We actually found a burger on the corner of the floor at one point. Yay, floor burger! Syndrome is also quite effective in the jump scare domain. They don't spam you with jumpy moments, so when they do come, it will genuinely get you. The other thing that may catch you off guard is for some reason your character will at times forget how to breathe. And suddenly let out an insane gasp of air. It's really not necessary, and it's also a little weird. Come on, dude, just breathe normally.
Oh, come on, the block does nothing.
Come on then, let me up.
You alright?
Yeah, just
Forgot how to breathe.
The enemies also make quite a lot of noise when they show up, and music turns the tension up to let you know that something horrible wants to turn you inside out. So at least you can prepare.
However, if you aren't prepared and an enemy decides to come along and tear your face off, there are save points dotted about, but there isn't any checkpoint system, so you really have to save quite often to make sure you don't have to do too much backtracking. The ship's decks are connected via a central elevator, but some of the decks don't have a save point. So it can be a problem if you die on a deck that doesn't have one, as it means you have to do that whole section again. And trust me, you will die a few times on your first run.
Now to the VR mode. Okay, so it's not the full game, instead you get this survival mode, which is essentially a very stripped down version of the same game. Just figuring out how to get out of the first room was a task, as there were no button prompts on the computer. You can see them on the footage that we recorded, but there weren't any in the PSVR headset at all.
Aiming is also done with your head, which is totally how I would hold a gun in real life. I would always opt to strap a gun to my face to get that perfect aim. I get that it's a survival mode, and that's totally fine, but trying to get away from or around the enemies without taking damage is next to impossible. You can't see more than 4 feet in front of you, so it doesn't leave much room for strategic navigation to stealth around these guys. Basically, if you bought this game solely for the VR mode, then you may be a little disappointed. Understatement. You'll be really disappointed. Like, a small part of you will die inside.
Overall, Syndrome is a mix of really good ideas, poorly executed. I mean, sometimes it is really good. Like, I was trying to sneak around and be all quiet, and then I went through some smoke, and the character started coughing and alerted Mr. Stabby Hands over there to come and rip me a new one. But then, other times, it just completely lets you down. Like with bad glitches, bugs, and what is this crouch walk? What is that? It's like what is he on his knees? Is he just shuffling on his knees? What? I better be quiet. I better sneak. Just sneak or don't sneak, man.
I could make a ton of comparisons with games like Alien Isolation and even Soma for the most part. I think if Syndrome had a lot more development time to iron out these kinks and fix things like rooms not loading and bugs that stop you from using the attack button. Yes, that happened. The scale of all the objects seem off as well, like chairs are odd sizes and desks seem really big and clunky. They could have also added some more simple things like an option to alter the brightness. Aside from all these quirks, I still want to play it, and I do very much like it, but at the end of the day, it's a 5 out of 10.
A good game, but not without some distinct problems. It's a lot of small things that add up to pull you out of the horrific experience you're supposed to be going through. And the VR mode is the biggest pile of cack to have ever been tacked on for the sake of it.
You know, despite all this bad stuff that we've been saying about this game, I actually quite like it, and I would say it's worth playing, you know? It's a good game for Halloween if you're brave enough. Just don't expect too much from it.
Pumpkins! I am the Pumpkin King, don't you know? I'm a little bit worried about Jay. He said he was really confident.
I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. I have never carved a pumpkin before in my life. I just about managed to scrape the innards out. That was a task in itself.
I think the last time I actually carved a pumpkin was probably like when I was like 13, 14 maybe. So, I don't feel that confident.
So my tactic is I'm going to carve something so elaborate, so impressive, that I'm just going to blow the competition away with raw awesomeness.
I've kind of been like having a look online this week, you know, I've been prepping for this competition, right? I mean, I was going to go for Chatter from Iggy's Wrecking Balls. Famous game, everybody's going to know it, right?
And there's all sorts of weird tools here, and little saw, big saw, and... What the hell is that?
What the hell is this?
What the hell is this? I don't even know what that would do.
Don't worry, my lid fell in. It's good. It's so cold. It's...
But yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I'm going to cheat a little bit and use a stencil. What the hell is a nighttime cat?
It's a cat at night.
Thanks! So yeah, I think I've settled on a scary looking werewolf face because I was a werewolf during the Halloween countdown, so is it gonna fit?
So I'm thinking this guy has got to have a huge smile. You know, I want like one of the big kind of like proper cheesy grin kind of smiles.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about this guy, so while I try and fix what I've done, why don't we check out what's coming out in November?
Alright fellas, this is our chance to break out of Normandy.
Yes, let's get the obvious one out the way first. It's November, so obviously there's a new Call of Duty incoming. And all those that have fallen out of love with the series due to the futuristic direction the last few games have gone in can rejoice, as this one boasts a return to classic boots on the ground gameplay. No more double jumping, no more wall running, and definitely no more jetpacks. World War II is also the first title since the original Call of Duty to not feature health regeneration in the single-player campaign. Instead, you must rely on your medic squad mates. But let's be honest, it's the multiplayer and zombies mode that everyone is waiting for, and it looks set to deliver in these areas too. There's even a central online hub that you and up to 47 other players can hang out in and take part in activities like practicing your aim at the firing range and watching other players open loot boxes. Because yeah, that's a core thing in games now. I just want to take a moment to talk about World War II Zombies mode, called Nazi Zombies. It still features the classic wave-based survival formula from the other games, only this time there are new features such as a class system. Sledgehammer Games co-founder Michael Condrey has also said that the experience is similar to Dead Space, and as he was one of the directors that worked on the original Dead Space game, it sounds rather exciting. Call of Duty World War II releases on November 3rd for PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC.
Well, ain't that something, Fritz?
Okay, so I may be cheating a little here as this is an expansion and not a full game, but I feel as though it definitely deserves a place on this list. The Frozen Wilds is the first and only piece of story DLC we're going to get for Horizon Zero Dawn, Guerrilla Games have already confirmed. Still, it's going to be rather meaty from the looks of it. The Frozen Wilds is set in a whole new area beyond the Northern Mountains. There are new storylines to follow, new characters to meet, and new machines to fight. There are also new skills to unlock and weapons to find that offer whole new ways to fight. Little more is known about what you'll be getting up to in this expansion, but all I do know is that I cannot wait to jump back into this world. The main game was incredible and one of my most favourite games this year, so to have more, well, that's all good in my books. The expansion releases digitally on the 7th of November, exclusive to the PS4. There is also a complete edition releasing on December 5th for anyone that's yet to experience this amazing game. You hear that, Microsoft? Exclusive!
It feels like almost a lifetime ago that Microsoft revealed they were working on something special. The words most powerful console ever made and native 4K resolution will be forever ingrained into my brain. But it's finally almost here. The latest member of the Xbox family, the Xbox One X. It features octa-core CPU, 12GB of RAM, and a GPU that boasts 6 teraflops of power. And no, none of those words were made up. The big question here is though, do you need it? It plays the same games as the other Xbox One consoles, uses the same interface, and works with all the same apps and accessories. Whilst this is great news from Microsoft that no one is being left behind, it makes me feel that, is the rather expensive price tag worth it for upgraded visuals? Right now it feels as though Microsoft have invented a solution for a problem that doesn't exist yet. And do we really want to see consoles adopt this upgrade model seen with the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro? I for one do not. Either way, the Xbox One X launches worldwide on the 7th of November.
Yes, Need for Speed is back with Payback. But it seems they're keen to right all the wrongs from 2015's entry. Gone are the live-action cutscenes with the awkward first-person fist bumping. Gone is the constant night with the occasional tease at a sunrise. And best of all, gone is the always online single-player mode. Yes, in Need for Speed Payback, you won't have to worry about servers being down and you can actually pause the game. It's the simple things, really, these days. Need for Speed Payback is set in an open world environment, and this time focuses more on action driving. You take control of 3 different characters, each with their own set of skills, as they work together to take down the House, a cartel who controls Fortune Valley's underworld. Think Fast and the Furious and you'll have some idea of what's in store for you here. There's also promise of deeper performance and visual customization than ever before, which should excite the boy racer in all of us. Will this action movie style work for a Need for Speed game? All shall be revealed when the game drops on November 10th on PS4, Xbox One and PC.
Be allowed to persist.
When Star Wars Battlefront released back in 2015, it was praised for how faithful to the source material it looked and sounded, but received a lot of criticism as it was an online multiplayer only game. Enter Star Wars Battlefront 2, which features more of the same online multiplayer gameplay, but this time round adds a full story-driven single-player campaign. For once, it seems like EA have been listening to the fans, and are turning over a new oh god, there's loot boxes. Yes, the beta released recently and received a lot of stick for the way the loot box system effectively makes the game pay to win. Since then, EA have said that the full system was not shown in the beta, but we shall see. The single-player campaign isn't the only thing that's new here. The multiplayer now features different character classes and locations from the prequels as well as the new sequel films. And what's more, EA have ditched the paid season pass for all downloadable content. Yep, this time round all expansions will be absolutely free, except for the stuff that's probably exclusive to loot boxes. But I am rather cynical. Maybe EA have finally made the Star Wars game to end all Star Wars games. We will know soon enough as the game releases on November 17th on PS4, Xbox One and PC.
Right, about to start putting the design on my pumpkin, but I've got Jay's stencil that he was going to use. Stencil, yeah, stencil.
This pizza cutter thing is epic. Seriously, if you need, it's like making perforation marks, and then you can just like cut straight in. That is awesome. Thank you, little ghost pizza cutter.
Right, so I've picked my design, and I'm going to try my best to sketch it onto the pumpkin. You know what? The hardest thing to do is to make sure that you've drawn this and it's the right size. I've clearly drawn it too big, and I've run out of room. Ah, ink all over me. Let me get this up. It's very therapeutic, you know?
Okay, so disaster has struck. I've lost my stencil. So I'm going to have to go for something a little bit more basic, I think. Wish me luck. I see, brain keeps giving me funny looks.
I am actually worried about Jay, though. He looks really, like, he's intensely carving. Like, he's got this quiet focus on his face, and he's literally just carving away. Just this vacant look in his eye. Just carving away. That guy's, it's going to be a masterpiece.
I'm liking that I can actually just like focus and kind of get on with mine, because the guys have got something going on. Like, there's a lot of, it's just a lot of, you know, testosterone, I think, is probably the right thing. But let's see what they thought of The Evil Within 2.
You know, I'm scared, I'm tired, and I feel like I've been through an absolute ordeal. Seriously, stepping into the shoes of Sebastian Castellanos has probably been the most daunting task I've ever faced whilst playing a video game. And it's not just because the game's scary.
It's a horrific journey of constant focus, constant endurance tests, and you'll be left physically relieved in every sense of the word every time you reach a safe house. It has an incredible way of keeping you on a knife edge of suspense throughout. It never feels like you ever know what the game is capable of throwing at you, and that's what makes Evil Within 2 one of the best survival horrors I've played in a long time. Because it actually feels like a struggle to survive.
Okay, so why is The Evil Within 2 more in tune with what survival horror is? Well, there are a number of factors. We have Shinji Mikami, original designer of Resident Evil. In the first Evil Within, you can tell that Shinji Mikami stuck fairly close to the Resident Evil 4 formula, very rarely straying from that style. As a result, Evil Within was heavily compared to it, and unfortunately it didn't stand up as well. If you were to ask me what playing the first game is like, I would say it's like playing Resident Evil 4, but way harder. Even the casual setting on Evil Within was tough, but it's from these complaints and criticisms that has brought us The Evil Within 2.
join me.
So enters Sebastian, who has to relive the loss of his daughter in the opening section of the game. It's a great start. I mean, it literally chucks you headfirst into a burning building and tells you to go and find Lily. I mean, that's crazy. This shit's on fire.
After this, you are taken into the custody of Mobius and told that Lily is alive and trapped inside this machine that created a city known as Union, constructed entirely from her mind. Okay, so think Inception, where they go into someone's dream.
You connected Lily to that machine?
Similar thing, except this place is falling apart and filled with horrific creatures. Sebastian needs to go in and rescue her, which in turn he is unwillingly forced to help Mobius, this shadowy organisation that was responsible for ruining Sebastian's former life, so it's safe to say he's not their biggest fan.
First and foremost, it's a third-person over-the-shoulder single-player survival horror. It eases you in with a fairly linear start up until a certain point where it lets you off the leash, so to speak. When you first arrive in Union, you realise two things. One, it has zombies. Yeah, zombies. And two, it's open world. Yeah, The Evil Within 2 is open world. But don't panic, they haven't lost any of the scariness here. Think of these sections as small open world hub areas for you to traverse. And you'll be moving through many different parts of the city. You will also have to get around using the Marrow, a series of tunnels that connect areas that are further apart. There's even a section that's filled with gas, requiring you to wear a gas mask to get through, and yep, it goes first person for this. Not something I expected, and yes, it's just as scary as it looks. There's been a lot of effort put into giving you multiple opportunities to strategize and choose your own route through these areas. They also lead you off into missions where you can scrounge for extra ammo, learn more about what's happened in Union, and of course, lures you into more scary situations.
But all of these side quests are a choice. They're so seamlessly integrated into the experience that it never really feels like you're doing a side quest at all.
These aren't meaningless fetch quests. There's good reason and purpose behind each of them, and can lead you into gaining better items and weapons that can make what lies ahead a little easier. But you don't need to. The game is balanced so well that if you turn up to a massive boss fight with a knife, there's a way to do it without killing the boss. Some you can't avoid, but there's usually clever alternative ways. You can use the environment a lot to your advantage. Oil slicks can be used to set an enemy on fire, electricity bolts fired into water can electrocute and stun enemies. There's a plethora of ways to tackle each situation.
Okay, so you might be thinking, ugh, I'm tired of games being open world and it's lazy programming and none of the events feel like they're being designed at all. And yes, while that's true with a lot of open world games, The Evil Within 2 does things a little different. Each encounter or situation has been heavily designed and scrutinised over. You're not just dropped into a box with a boss and told to hit it until it dies and there's various toys to throw at it. No, these areas have been designed with strategy and set pieces that may or may not happen dependent on your playstyle.
Take this area for example. Here I am on the trail of some weapon parts I need to fix a broken sniper rifle that I found on a roof. This organically initiated a side quest for me to work out how to get these parts. Outside where I need to go is a powerful enemy that I'm not sure I can handle right now, so I take the quiet approach, stealth around the building, choose my moment, throw a bottle at the other end of the car park, the monster hears it, turns and goes to inspect whilst I creep inside the garage, stealth kill another enemy, snag the parts and stealth my way back out.
And here's me doing exactly the same thing but taking a more direct approach. Both ways have their pros and cons. Whilst I'm fighting and killing all these enemies now, I'm earning green gel, stuff that's vital to upgrade Sebastian, but I'm also losing a lot of ammo and precious healing items. Whilst the stealth approach keeps me alive and full on ammo, I gained nothing to upgrade Sebastian's character stats.
So on to those important upgrades. You can collect green gel, or brain juice, by killing enemies, and you can take this back to the main hub, where you can use it to increase Sebastian's skills and abilities.
These skill trees range from health upgrades, being able to stealth crouch faster, run for longer, and can also open up abilities like the bottle break. This allows Sebastian to use bottles as a way to escape an enemy if he is grabbed. As well as upgrading Sebastian, you can upgrade your weapons too. These require weapon parts which you find all over Union in various drawers, boxes, bins, shelves, you get the idea. You can take these and you can use crafting benches to increase your weapon's firepower, fire rate, ammo capacity, critical hit percentages and all that jazz.
Another key element is the ability to craft ammo. Yes, using gunpowder you can craft more ammo for your guns. Now it doesn't sound like you'll be worried about ammo too much, but trust me, you don't get a lot. When you get the shotgun it gets a little bit easier, but you're only holding 10 rounds for it, and with each enemy taking 2 shots or 1 if you get a headshot, it's going to deplete fast. I found myself only using my shotgun when absolutely necessary. Made me care about each and every shot fired. Was I going to find some more gunpowder to make some more? Occasionally I'd find 1 or 2 shells in an old box in a drawer, but it's that unknown factor that makes this work out so well.
All of this works together so well, and it's all a part of this great horrific experience you're going to have. With 17 chapters and about 20 to 30 hours of playtime on your first run, it's absolutely incredible.
It then adds on increased difficulty levels with a new Game Plus mode to start the game again with all of Sebastian's stats upgraded. It's loaded with secrets to collect, keys to obtain bonus items in lockers, and has tons of replay value that will keep you playing until Capcom remember how to craft a good Resident Evil game.
Disappointed!
There's even a classic difficulty that only allows you to save 7 times, and you can't upgrade Sebastian at all. Fuck me.
It's an experience that has managed to revive our faith in survival horror, and if I was to sum this game up with a few comparisons, it would be, if Silent Hill, Splinter Cell, State of Decay, Resident Evil 4 and The Matrix had a baby, this would be the result. There are, however, a few shortcomings. Occasionally Sebastian can feel like he's running on the spot, and the camera speed and movement slows down quite a bit when you're inside buildings. And we noticed some terrible frame rate drops and some glitches, where Sebastian would suddenly fly off if you were attempting to pick up an item that would cause his character animation to step onto a raised platform, like this pallet for example. But none of it really caused any annoyance, and it certainly didn't happen often. The Evil Within 2 is nothing short of a masterpiece, and it's exactly what this genre needed, and what so many others have failed to deliver upon, giving this a strong 9 out of 10.
It left me utterly breathless in parts, it scared me to the core, and its design is so beautifully dark that it's worth playing just to take it all in. If you were sceptical about this one after playing the first, then no worries, as everything that was bad in the first has been firmly fixed and embellished in this tight sequel from Tango Gameworks. Bravo, Mikami-san. Bravo.
Why wouldn't I be alright?
Carving a pumpkin. Carving a pumpkin. Clean lines in your pumpkins. That's the order of the day.
You know, I've always done like more of a tradish kind of pumpkin. I guess because I was young, so it's just sort of like, you know, the typical, like, you know, they kind of do triangle eyes and the smart, like the really basic thing. Like nobody would actually make a pumpkin. Nobody would actually carve a pumpkin that basic anymore, I don't think.
Bigosaur. Sounds like a dinosaur from the next Jurassic Park movie. What dinosaur are we going to put in our park now? Oh, I don't know. Let's call it the Bigosaur, because it's bigger. I think this is going well.
Don't hold knives like this at home, kiddos.
I gotta say, I'm actually quite proud of this.
Oh. I think I've lost my watch.
You know what's weird? When you do like a pumpkin with teeth, once you've got them kind of cut out, they kind of wobble, like proper teeth, and it's weird, giant wobbling pumpkin teeth. It's kind of puts you off, but it looks amazing, so I'm chuffed. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think I messed up his eyes. I think I messed up his eyes, but we'll see. We'll see. We're getting close to finishing this bad boy up.
Just clean it up now then. So, you know what? I'm actually pretty happy with that, considering it's my first pumpkin. I think I got this, guys. I got this.
I'm really chuffed. I'm really chuffed. I can't wait for you to see it. It's good. It's good.
Cool, I'm done. I'm happy with it. I think it's awesome, and I think I'm gonna win. I'm feeling confident, but not too confident, because Jay is still a dark horse of mystery. Who knows what's going on in that mind of his? Who knows what complex concoction he's carved into that pumpkin? We'll have to find out. But first, let's check out some retro horror.
Back Back in the golden age of gaming, where graphics weren't that important, Anita Sarkeesian wasn't being a total knob, and the only thing that mattered was conquering a great challenge, we had games like Ghosts and Goblins. Developed by Capcom, one of Japan's top-tier gaming development houses, Ghosts and Goblins was originally released in the arcades in September 1985 and gained popularity for its tough challenge.
6 levels were what stood between you and saving your good lady who was kidnapped right at the beginning, and thus kicks off your coin-sucking adventure. It gained a large popularity, which called for it to be ported to numerous home consoles, and eventually led to a sequel, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, which was released on the Super Nintendo in 1991.
Now, I've played it before in the past and it was crushingly difficult, to the point of anger. And recently, with the likes of the Xbox exclusive Cuphead causing mass hysteria among new wave journalists not being able to play it and therefore review it, it makes sense to really showcase what a hard game actually is. And all I can say is, move over Dark Souls, you ain't got nothing on the difficulty that lies within Ghouls and Ghosts.
As an experiment, we're going to see how far we can get. I for one love the classics, so I've done a few of them. Jay has finished numerous Dark Souls titles and has a fairly good grasp of difficulty. And Nikita, well, she has sheer determination, but this is her first time on Ghouls and Ghosts. But there's only one way to find out. 3 of us, 3 lives each, let's see how far we can get on a cold playthrough with a few minutes practice. This should be embarrassing.
Okay, Super Ghouls and Ghosts. So, I finished Dark Souls. I'm no stranger to 2D platformers. It can't be that hard, right?
I've played some hard 2D games in my past, you know. I've completed Probotector, Contra, if you live in the States.
You know how with Mario, if you jump and you realise that you've messed up and you need to go back, you can literally change Mario's jump mid-jump. This guy? Nah, no chance.
No.
His jump is a nightmare. You have to have kind of forward momentum to do the double jump. If you jump and then a direction, he just ignores you.
It's gonna go really well, guys. What the hell is that? Okay, I'm now a baby. Great, this is great. Baby zombies, baby zombies. Shit!
Not today, doggy. Whoa. All right.
I noticed that Jay got quite far, so I'm definitely not point pressing here. Trying to rack my score up a little bit just in case. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to move on. I'm not going to cheat too much.
Alright, ready, go. That's what it tells me. Fuck, just jump onto them. That's always best.
Oh. What? Okay.
You get a bunch of different weapons with this. Which is cool. I quite like this scythe because you can kind of control it to... if you press down, it kind of goes along the floor.
Right. Give me some... What? Oh, this son of a bitch! No. Wow. Twice in a row.
God, they're just not going away, are they? Sometimes you just can't get rid of a zombie.
Because I want something. Yes! My pretty blue flames. I like these flames. These are really cool. You'll see why if I don't die straight away.
Oh, dear. It's fine. I had it all under control.
Oh, no. Oh, no! How did he not hit me? How?
Oh, no.
Look how gangly he is. You ever notice how gangly his legs are? Jesus.
What's happening? No! He wouldn't fire.
Oh dear. Okay, that's not good. Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, what? No, go away. Oh, dear. It's fine. We'll... Hey, we're back.
Go! Okay. Bag of money. Alright. Okay. Clam section.
Fujiwara Takuro was one of the lead designers on this, and he actually helped design, or was also a lead designer on Resident Evil. Cool, huh?
Yes. I'm not going to get any further than this, so I might as well just enjoy this moment. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at the waves. Aren't they beautiful? Yeah, they're great.
Oh, that was bad. Oh no, that's worse. Turn around! Oh! No. My luck ran out.
Right. Oh. Clam. He's clammy.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Right, now this one's a difficult one because you got to do a double jump, but a quick double jump. Otherwise, you go too far for that. Same with that one. And if you go too far, then, well, you know, you go too far.
Okay. Okay, waves and stuff and clams and whatnot. Shit, fuck my life! I quit. I totally quit. Leave me alone.
Boom. Oh god, that's a small little grass patch.
Right, here's the bit with the exploding meatballs. I have a feeling I'm doing rather well. Oh shit.
Oh, what? Oh, okay, alright. Jump too soon.
Oh, I didn't get the treasure chest though. That treasure chest would. Oh no! No! Oh. Oh well, that's annoying. Okay.
Ah. They put that rock there.
Right, now to get past this one, you have to just... Oh no, you just die like an idiot! Okay, well I guess we're not gonna get to the boss.
Down. Up. Yes. Outsmarted that.
Keep spawning. And killing me. Oh, you dick! Well, that's game over, isn't it? You know, screw... No.
Time for Big Bird. Oh, what? No, jumped. Okay, well that was short-lived. That's it, game over. Well, at least I made it to the first boss. Almost did the first level.
So I think it's safe to say that when it comes to Ghouls and Ghosts, we could all do with a bit of practice. It's a tough game, but it's doable, and that's what I love about the classic games. They're easy to play, but hard to master. It takes skill, dedication, and learning each stage. It takes time, but in the end, it's so rewarding. Super Ghouls and Ghosts will hopefully return one day, but for now, we'll always have the golden oldies. Hey, and we're back, and that is the end of the Halloween
And not yet, we've got some pumpkins to reveal.
Yeah. That's right, yeah. I'd almost forgotten all about it, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course you had. Of course.
No, but without further ado, well, who's going to go first?
Who wants to go first?
Who dares go first?
Oh, well, I'm going to go first.
You're going to go first?
Yeah, come on,
Well,
why
you
not?
said that really confidently.
I know, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yep, ladies first, in fairness.
I'm really proud. I'm really proud of this, right?
Okay, all right then. Director, reveal Nikita's pumpkin.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know,
nice.
right?
All right.
I've always gone really classic, so I was just sort of like, I wanted to go for something teethy, and I feel like I've achieved that.
See,
It's
now
got
that,
teeth.
It
yeah.
has.
See,
It's
now
got a
that
lot
to
of them.
me is an actual carving, because you're not just cutting it out, you're carving into it.
I had to really
it's
like
good.
scrape. You know,
Yeah.
there was a lot of scraping,
A lot of scraping.
and they're really wet pumpkins.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
Messy.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, who's going to go? Well, you know what? I want to go next. I want to go
You're
next.
gonna go next?
You
I want to
next?
go next.
He's doing it.
because
He's doing it.
I'm a bit worried about Jay over
Oh, you're
That's
gonna.
fine by
you're
me.
gonna
Let's
get-
save the
oh.
best to last.
Yeah, yeah,
All right,
okay.
go on.
there. All right. Director, reveal my pumpkin.
Oh my god,
Oh,
no
wow.
way, you've done Bowser!
Yes.
Oh,
Huh?
Bowser trolling.
Bowser trolling.
You like it?
Always,
You like it?
always.
Yeah, I love Bowser every time
You're
I play
always
Mario
Bowser.
Kart. Always playing Bowser.
Don't
Just
we
to-
know it?
Just to get those blue shells in there.
And large characters bumping off the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I do
Bowser
that.
trolling for
Bowser
sure.
trolling. Yeah, so yeah.
That's
when with
awesome.
Yeah, that's
You've
great,
done
yeah.
a really good job
Really
with
good
that.
work.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was going to go for a bit more complicated thing, but I was just like, no.
You don't need it.
I'll just
That's
rein it back a
awesome.
bit.
Can you get more
I was
complicated than
gonna
that?
say,
Oh, I
jeez.
don't know. People do some pretty incredible things with pumpkins, Jay.
I don't want to know.
Well, I think we are going to find out because Jay,
Oh,
You
here
ready?
it goes.
you ready for the big reveal?
Oh yes, it's time for my pumpkin.
Director, reveal Jason's pumpkin.
Ta-da!
Oh, you've gone very, very. How bright are your eyes?
That is
My
classic.
God, wow,
It's
you've
just
gone really, really retro with it.
You've done something. You've done something special there. You've lured us into a false sense of security and dazzled us with beautiful simplicity.
Yeah, well, you see,
I see you with like a template or something.
Yeah, I had grand designs, but I don't know what happened to my stencils that I was going to use.
What, you lost them?
Yeah, I lost them. It's completely just gone. I have no idea where they went. So I just thought I'd give us something really classic, as it's the first time I've ever carved a pumpkin, and I think it looks good. I think I did a pretty good job.
I think you've done a very good job there, Jason.
I agree. But anyway, what do you guys think?
Yes.
Who carved the best pumpkin?
Yeah, guys,
Let us know in the comments below, and get your comments and likes in and all that kind of jazz. Yeah, vote for me.
No,
vote for me. You know you like Bowser.
I mean, come on.
It's my first one. Vote for me.
Come on.
Anyway, sadly, that is the end of our Halloween special. We hope you've had an absolutely fantastic time. We've loved filming this and putting this together for you and creating this show, and hopefully you've all enjoyed it. And it's been right fun, hasn't it?
Lots of fun.
It's been right fun.
Halloween fun. Halloween goodness.
Absolutely. So the only thing that's left to say is please go out there, have a happy and safe Halloween, eat too much candy, drink lots of beer, go and have your parties and all that jazz, and we'll see you next time. As always, I've been Bren.
I've been Nikita.
I've been Jay.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye-bye.